Hello Aries, welcome to your June 2018 Tarot and Astrology forecast with me, Anishka. So first we're going to give you the astrology, then we're going to go over to the tarot. So your ruling planet turns retrograde this month, okay? But not just your ruling planet. Neptune turns retrograde on the 28th, I believe it is. 18th. Mars turns retrograde on the 26th. So this is crazy when you think about it, because we've now got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Neptune all retrograde. All of the transpersonal planets are retrograde, plus now we've got Mars retrograde, and obviously Jupiter's been retrograde for some time. So the planet of action, our drive, our will, our courage, our force, our ambition, your ruling planet, is now going inwards. Now this is I find this really, really interesting when we bear in mind that Uranus changed signs last month. What we're looking at here, in my humble opinion, is a universal pause, if you will. We're looking at an opportunity for us to start assimilating this energy of Uranus and Taurus, because it is going to be quite literally groundbreaking, earth-shattering. When you think Uranus and Taurus, think electricity, think earth, think earthquakes, think electrical storms, okay? It's going to be groundbreaking, and it's going to affect us all on an intense level, on a very big level. It's going to change some major area of our lives. So it makes sense to me that we are seeing the major heavy hitters almost backing up in order to make space for this fresh energy that we're now adjusting to, that will be with us for the most part of the year, then back into your sign again, and then back into Taurus next year. So what does this mean for you personally? This means that, so with Mars going retrograde, this means, for everybody, our energy and our will and our ability to get things accomplished is likely to feel a little bit more thwarted, and frustrations can tend to grow. It's going to be retrograde in Aquarius. So this can see us feeling frustrated in terms of teamwork, in terms of aligning ourselves with the groups that we belong to, okay? And so for you, this is a double whammy, because obviously if you're Aries, and especially if Aries is your first house, this is like, it has extra significance, because everything lines up for you, as it does with the classic astrological chart and astrological wheel. So you're going to see your ability to kind of function in teams maybe slightly more impaired, and there may be a need for more patience and more understanding when it comes to teamwork. What I do like is we've got Mercury that goes into Cancer on the 12th, Venus enters Leo on the 13th, and this is like a softening, okay? So Venus is in a creative, lovely, playful, childlike Leo. Mercury goes into soft, intuitive, creative Cancer, where it's more about our emotional thinking. Now, if you can remember to err on the side of empathy and compassion and understanding for the fact that everyone's going to be going through these kinds of things, everyone is traversing these waters right now, that is the best way to go about it, rather than allowing that frustration to build and that emotional thinking to end up turning into something that you verbalize that you later on regret. So just be aware of that. To me, this is kind of the way out of any tension, is just to go with the soft, go with the creative, go with the compassion, go with the understanding. And I think, with Uranus in Taurus, and with this difficulty that we're finding, I mean, Neptune's in your 12th house, it's going to be going retrograde in your 12th house. And what I think you're kind of reviewing and looking at is, let me just start again. So Neptune's retrograde, or going to be going retrograde in your 12th house. You've got Jupiter retrograding in your 8th house, okay? Very kind of personal planets that are very deep, that are very naturally watery, that hold ties to the past, that hold ties to my psychology, to powerlessness, to victimhood, to, my own personal sense of power, to illusions, okay? And then you've got your Saturn, Pluto and Mars up there, right up there in your sky, right? In your 10th and 11th houses, going retrograde. So it's like this realignment of what are my inner needs? And it's like the universe is stopping all of us from moving forward before we seriously evaluate what it is that we are carrying with us in this very physical now moment. What is it you are carrying within you? What is it you're carrying into your future? Is it worth you holding everything you hold? Is there baggage that really right now in this moment needs to be dropped? Are you going down the right course of action? Are you aligned with the right people? Have you stepped into your power? Are you still living in a sense of victimhood in some way? Do you suffer addictions or self-sabotaging behavior that undermines you? And is there shame and fear and other emotional blockages lying underneath that need to be addressed before you can move forward? Because I feel like we're getting to this gateway where it's almost like, and I feel like Uranus is the gatekeeper of it. It's this gateway where we're basically being, it's almost like I will get my words out, where we're kind of being initiated, but it's almost like the universe is saying, you are not going to go any further until you address these very deep, very personal things and you liberate yourself from them. Uranus, liberation for you in your house of values, in your house of resources, my income, my self-esteem. You're going to be looking at issues of your self-esteem and your values. Okay, and you need to, if there's something to be liberated from, if there are self-esteem issues that have cropped up or that are still present and they relate to shame, power games, power struggles, fear, victimhood, you are being asked to liberate yourself from that. And even if it's to do with resources, if you have, if you've accumulated so much stuff, so much property that it's actually weighing you down, you're going to start to look at, well, why did I feel the need to do that in the first place? Where was that coming from? Was that coming from a place of fear and inadequacy? And if so, then that's really sad. That means I've got all this stuff because I felt that I wasn't enough on my own. So you're looking, this is what I feel, we're being initiated into this higher state of consciousness where we're asked to become far more whole human beings so that we can move on to the next plane of existence, far more integrated, far more aware, and having shone a light on a lot of the dark corners of our own psyches, and having purged a lot of deep emotional issues. So, Uranus is the gatekeeper of this, I believe, and this is why we've got so many of these planets retrograde. I mean, look at it. We've got Venus will go retrograde later on in the year, but what I love is that we've got Venus and we've got Mercury there, direct, and so this is telling us that our thoughts and our feelings are what matter and what we can use to explore these issues and go within with these issues with. And of course, we've got the moon who never retrogrades anyway, but Uranus is definitely going to be the awakener in this sense. So you are going to be looking at issues to do with your values, okay? And I want you to think about how your values, how your self-esteem, how even the resources you've got are tied into might be tied into issues of power, powerlessness, issues of perhaps even greed, issues of codependency, issues of victimhood. Look at what you might have constructed over the past however many years, but especially 8 years and longer. Look at what you might have constructed. We're talking lifetime, because this happens once in your lifetime. You're not going to get Uranus back in this area of your chart again, Aries. So this is the time to look at what have I accumulated and brought with me, what values have I carried with me my entire life that actually were built on shaky ground, that were built on overcompensation in order to give me a false sense of security. So this is like the big message that really I have for you this month. So we're going to move on to your tarot now. I would like to make an announcement that your Uranus into Taurus special video is up and it is on my website and it is ready to view. So if you want to go to click the link below, I'm doing them really, really cheap, less than even a cup of coffee, 80 pence. I mean, that's nothing, but it's just a little contribution, which of course helps, and it goes along. When enough people do it, it goes a long way. So click the link and you're going to get that video. It's about an hour long. I did say they were going to be hefty, but it goes really in depth, and I hope you appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys, so now on to your tarot reading. Thanks for watching. Hi, Aries. So I hope you enjoyed the intro to that video. Actually, let's not do that. Let's just do the thing. Oh, that is funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, there we go. There he is again, King of Cups on the old reversal. Came up last month, came up for your Taurus in Uranus moving to Taurus special. The good old King of Cups, that cup, that water sign that you've been contending with. And we've got the King of Wands. Okay, this is cool. We're getting some balancing act coming out here. It looks like there might be a face-off between you and this person. Well, maybe it's about time, Aries. Maybe it's about time, hey? Maybe it is just about that time. Oh, that is funny. So let me see. I accept messages of guidance, love, and wisdom for the sign of Aries for the month of June 2018. Ooh, what have we done there? I accept messages of love, guidance, truth, and wisdom for Aries for the month of June 2018. I accept messages of truth, insight, wisdom, and healing for Aries for the month of June 2018. Okay. Lovely. Where are we going to put these two dudes? Let's just put them to the side for the time being, Aries, and let's pull your spread. We're going to do the Celtic cross again. I may change this up next month. We shall see. Now, I'm pretty sure you pulled this on the reverse last month. Was it you? Was it somebody else? Okay, so we're coming in, we're saying my money. For sure we're saying my money. We're saying my sixth house as well. We're saying my sense of peace, my sense of rest. I've taken time to meditate over certain things. Sorry, I'm just going to pull up your chart again, Aries, so I can see again where we are. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to take this off. I'm getting too warm. Okay. Okay, Aries. So yeah, you're saying rest, you're saying recuperation, you're saying meditating over things. Neptune there, you know, about to go retrograde in your 12th house in Cancer. Knight of Cups. This water sign, I cannot with this water sign. Okay, Five of Pentacles. And these shells. And what do we have? And we have the Eight of Cups there. Down in your subconscious, in the root of the matter, which I am actually really glad to see, because I feel like this is some forward movement that's going to start happening. But I think the forward movement is going to start happening on an emotional level before it happens on a physical level. Yep, I think I'm right. There we go. You just came in. You're saying the Ten of Wands, I'm not ready yet to take this wisdom and what I know and leave the situation and fully split off on my own, but yet emotionally I'm starting to depart from the situation. The world and your environment, oh, you have support. You have support. Guidance is there for you. Uranus is there for you, wanting to liberate you, wanting to break you free, wanting to wash you anew, cleanse you, and almost what is the word? I don't want to say baptize, but it's like a re-emergence of self, and you have that opportunity. And I like that for you. The Magician, yes, I love this. And I'm pretty sure we pulled these two cards on the reverse in your Uranus in Taurus special. If you haven't seen that, go purchase it. It's on my website. The link is below. We pulled these on the reverse, and I'm happy to see these here now. It's telling me that this energy is going to be present for the next 8 months. Not 8 months, 8 years. You're going to be playing with this energy, but sometimes you may feel that the world is kind of going against you, that your manifestation powers aren't working, because they were on the reverse in that one, but they're coming up right here. But you just have to understand that there are times when what you want to manifest is manifesting, but it's just the universe has to play its hand, and it may not look like it at first. And your outcome, we've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I'm seeing a lot of, like, I shuffled the hell out of these, and I'm going to pull another one, Wheel of Fortune. Nice, I like it, Aries. Okay, so what have we got? Oh, and let's not forget our Colette Baron Reid cards as well. These beautiful cards that I only recently got. Ooh. Okay, I'm actually going to just shuffle them carefully because they're so slippery. I'm just pausing because I'm waiting for the postman to knock on my door. I can see him from my window. Okay, no knock. Alright. Okay, so Aries, you're looking at your security. There's less partnership cards in this month's reading to what there were last month, which is telling me that you are considering yourself more again. You're considering your values, your needs, your money, your direction more. And I feel like this Knight of Cups, King of Cups, I mean, in the last reading he came up as the Page, Knight and Queen of Cups. So this is this water sign, or this person in your life that is emotionally immature, that is hard to communicate with, up and down, could be schizophrenic, could have serious emotional issues, or could just have a complete fear of connecting on an emotional level and have serious emotional blockages, but be very, very stunted, okay? Shall we go with that one? He fell out, commitment. Okay, there we go, we'll go with him. So commitment, this is kind of interesting, isn't it? Commitment, when we're talking about the possibility of leaving somebody or leaving a situation. This isn't going to be a someone for all of you, but it's going to be a something, or it could very well be a changing in, like I've been talking about, your value system, a changing in something. If you've been doing something that's been causing your self-esteem to drop, so for any of you who drink very heavily, who are addicted to anything that isn't helping you, this can be how this shows up as well, because this can be somebody with an addiction, or this could be representing an addiction in yourself. Other than that, it could be representing an emotional blockage in yourself, which you need to face, because what it's doing is it's getting in the way of your sense of abundance, which is what we're seeing here, okay? You have got money, you have got resources, you have got things, you have got abundance available to you. And look, we're looking at the 8th house again, aren't we? No, we're not. We're looking at the 9th house, sorry. Ooh. We're looking at the 9th house, and we're looking at how I can expand, how I can go further, how I can bring more of what I want into my existence, so I can continue to be this giving person who is of service to humanity, doing something that I love, or is finding a way. Even if you're not in that dream job or dream situation just yet, how can I be that person how can I do that thing which not only gives me a sense of fulfillment and makes me jump out of bed every morning, but is also of service to humanity? These are the things that are on your mind, and this is what you want. And you want to be able to expand your horizons and have that abundance and that wealth and that sense of security and lavishness almost. But for certain, like, this is going to translate differently for all of you, obviously, because you're all individual, you're all born at very different times, etc., in different places. But some of you, this is going to be about yourself. This is going to be about the fact that, yes, you want more. Yes, you have this big vision. But if you don't believe you're worthy of it, if your self-esteem is not strong enough, then how can you hold it? Think about the 2nd house where Uranus has moved into, which is going to be drastically changing up, drastically bringing a lightning bolt type of awareness to. The 2nd house supports the 1st. The 1st is you, Aries. You are the I am. The 1st house is about our personality, our being, our body, our sense, okay, our first emergence into the world. It's our rising sign, it's our ascendant sign. It's how we come out of the gates into this earthly realm. And then what supports that, what has to support that, is a self-esteem. Our values have to support that. There's something very, the earth has to support us. We're supported on the earth. We're supported by our values. We're supported by our self-esteem. If your value system, if your sense of worthiness is not in check, how can you hold all of this? You will only end up feeling left out in the cold. You'll only end up feeling a sense of poverty, no matter how much you have, if you don't have the right sense of self-confidence and self-worth. And I know everyone likes to associate Aries with being very confident and bold, and yes, you can be, but sometimes it can be very much just because it's just the way you assert yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean, because you assert yourself very directly, people assume that you must be so confident, but that's not always the case. You just tend to be a direct communicator. And we all have pockets in which we are less confident. But you're saying, I no longer want to be kept out in the cold. I no longer want to be feeling as though my confidence is low. And I mean, we're talking about the 5th house as well here, you know, so that is about self-esteem. I no longer, I am past this point of thinking that I deserve less. I've meditated and ruminated upon certain issues to do with my security and my foundations and those who are closest to me. And if this Knight of Cups is not you with an addiction or you with an emotional blockage or issue, if it is in fact somebody in your life, then I have ruminated over this person who is close to me, who I have a partnership with and I have some sort of allegiance with, who is a emotional drain, who has this emotional block, who I have felt I have to contend with. And look, this is you, King of Wands, and them in the reverse, Knight of Cups. Look at, it's just so funny. Fire and water, one is reversed, one is upright. There's just this point of acceptance that we sometimes have to come to with people, that we can't change them and we can't do anything, and it's not our business to change anyone ultimately, is it, Aries? That is not what relationship is about, that's not what partnership is about. But if we cannot work with somebody, if we cannot have a partnership with somebody and it is harmonious and it is benefiting the both of us, if we cannot have one in which there is peace and we feel respected, seen, heard, in which we are feeling getting a sense of joy from, then eventually we have to say, well, I love you, but I love you, but I'm gonna have to love you from a distance. And I feel that some of you are getting prepared to take that emotional journey and to do that. That's for those of you who this is a person in your life. Now, this could be somebody in your family, this could be somebody who you work with, a business partner, it could be a very close friend who you've been trying to help out again and again and again, and they just keep doing the same thing, falling back into that addiction, falling back into that habit, falling back into that relationship with that person who is abusive, and you can't keep saving them. You cannot keep saving them. And it's actually it's been affecting you for a while now. Now, for some of you, it's that. For some of you, it's you with your own emotional blockage, with your own sense of not wanting to tap into certain pains related to the past, related to powerlessness, related to victimhood. This is time for you to start looking at those now in order to clear them up. As I talked to you about in the beginning of this video, in the astrological part, all the planets are retrograde, not all the planets, but so many of the planets are going to be retrograde in order for us to take this time to go within, retro within, to review. Okay, so you can feel this now. You're saying the 8th house is calling me. That sense of investigation to my inner depths, my inner nature, my deeper waters is calling me, and that is, you're going to feel that pull quite naturally, I feel, and instinctively and intuitively you're going to start taking that that passage, that route, and maybe with Neptune going retrograde in 12th house, but your action may not necessarily follow this right now. So this can be more of an internal journey that you're taking, starting to investigate why you allowed this to happen in the first place, whether it's the addiction, whether it's the friendship, the partnership, whether it's your own emotional blockage, why you've allowed it to continue for so long. You're going to be investigating it internally, ruminating over it, but I don't see you taking the action to leave yet, because we've got the 10 of Wands in the reverse. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but you're ruminating over it. The action isn't quite there yet, but that's okay, because your timing is right. The timing is right, and you are being birthed anew. And in order to be birthed first, we have to incubate, don't we? We have to incubate, we have to be in the belly, we have to be in the waters, the emotional waters, the waters of our mother, the waters of healing and of growth, before we can be birthed into the world. So that's okay, you can take your time to do that. This is a very long transit, and my hopes and fears, materialism, manifestation, I want to manifest what I truly desire, but at the same time I fear it, because I haven't been down this path before. I don't know me without the addiction, or I don't know me without this best friend, or this partnership, this relationship, or I don't know myself without this emotional blockage. So in some ways I fear this manifestation, I fear what the new me could look like, or my new life could look like, but at the same time it's exactly what I want, and I know that that's the path forward. So you know this deep down, and it's all going to work out. We know this. Wheel of Fortune there with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So you may see some difficulty in terms of, and this may well get in the way, this journey may well get in the way of your work, of your finances, of your income. And what I mean by that is there may just be days when you just don't feel as up to it. because there's something much larger going on within you. So if you're self-employed, there may be some days where, and I know how driven you are, Aries, but there may be some days where you end up going, oh my God, you know what, I just need to take 2 days off and just lie in bed or just go for walks because what's going on within me is so big. This can also be not necessarily you taking the initiative to do that, but this can also see, you know, like I said, that Uranus in Taurus energy, this can see Uranus putting a stop to certain jobs, certain means of income, to certain projects related to your income and your resources, in order to give you more time, in order to free you up more. Uranus is the liberator, and you know, when that happens, try not to fight it and try to say, okay, well, hang on a minute, what's the blessing in this? Am I being guided to, did I have too many plates spinning? Am I being told that actually what I need is to take some time to myself rather than take on something new or try and push this through? Do I need to take some time to myself to actually, to heal, to realign, to reassess, to figure out how I'm going to deal with this situation rather than just trying to keep on forcing forward. So it's going to be very interesting. So then we look at the theme of commitment. Now, commitment is, I think this is kind of a big one for you. So do you stay committed to this course of action, to this person, to this addiction, to this outdated way of being? For some of you, I feel like as well, and I meant to say this in the intro, some of you, I feel like this is to do with intimacy. I feel some of you have some major blockages when it comes to intimacy, and I feel that there's judgments that you place upon, that perhaps you place upon people. That may be projections, emotional projections, or fears rather, fears that project onto others in which you don't allow yourself to get close to certain people. So I want you to look at matters of intimacy because, you know, like I said, Jupiter's there in that 8th house. We got Neptune there in your 12th house as well, about to go retrograde, and Uranus, of course, can't say it enough, in that 8th house, looking at your values. Do some of your values, are they real, or are they just protecting you from getting close to people? Is it like, are you one of those people that you've got a checklist of, this person's got to be, they've got to have this much money in the bank, they've got to be doing this, they've got to be 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 this, before I even consider dating them? Now, is that really the truth of what your heart wants? Because, I mean, I don't know about your heart, but I know that my heart's pretty damn open, and my heart doesn't look at people's bank balances, and my heart isn't very judgmental. Even when someone acts a bit of a fool, my heart stays open. Okay, it's very forgiving. That's not to say give your heart to just anybody, but have you built up the set of values which is actually not so much about what your heart wants and what is actually wise, or what is actually going to give you bring you the greatest joy, but is it actually a checklist in order to keep yourself safe? Have you, through life experience, identified, oh well, this is what I don't want, this is what I do want, this is what I don't want, this is what I do want? And it's almost like, you know, by watching and observing other people and seeing things go wrong or right in other people's relationships, you kind of built up this checklist, and so if I end up with this kind of person, then I should be safe. Well, where is kind of, it's great for you to want what you want and know what you want, but also you start to become rigid, and you start to become, values that are built like that can get they can become places of judgment for us, where we start to judge other people and we actually cut off potential sources of friendship, love and intimacy. So I feel some of you are doing this, and I want you to look at that. Okay, I want you to look at rigidity, because in some senses the Queen of Pentacles upside down, you know, I'm seeing this as a heart blockage. You know, she's near the heart chakra. So I'm saying this as a kind of heart blockage, and almost like a clinging on to my values so tightly that I don't allow the world in. I don't allow the magic of what could be, the magic of partnership, bliss, beauty, love, abundance in, because my values are so damn rigid. Now that can apply even if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you'll find yourself at odds with your partner because, you know, you're like, oh, well, you never do this, you never do this, you never do this, you never do this. Have a look at yourself and say, hang on a minute. Do I value them as a human being? Do I value their heart? Do I value their love? Or have my values gotten a bit out of whack? Have I become too rigid? Go in search of that which is within emotionally this month, Aries, and I think you would do very well. Just checking we're still recording. Yeah, we're good. So commitment. So we're looking at issues of commitment, aren't we? How committed are you to some rigid values? How committed are you to a drug addiction? How committed are you to somebody who is not serving you anymore? Or how committed are you to your own personal growth, your own inward journey, so that you can evolve and expand? I want you to think about this and question that. Okay, Aries. That was a good reading, I felt. I felt it was very clear, it was very concise, and it got to the point. If you'd like a personal reading with me, I will be free, I'm going to say, well, yeah, late June. You can do bookings with me onwards, because I am quite booked up at the moment. But it would be my absolute pleasure. And if you haven't watched my Uranus and Taurus special for your sign, then I suggest you get ahead and do it, because there'll be a lot of information in that I think will really help guide you over the next 8 years. You've got plenty of time to watch it, because Uranus is going to be there for a while. Okay, my loves, take care. Bye-bye.